Вот, все отлично, все пошло, все хорошо. Всем привет, всем привет. Мы с вами продолжаем замечательную игру Вампир. Вампир. Нужно ее допройти. Так. Опа. А, да.
It's locked, all right.
Так, тут мы не запрыгнем. Тут мы тоже не пройдем. Давайте попробуем. Какая-то женщина.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Ага. Какой-то чувак грабит там. Задать личные вопросы нельзя. Спросите о Дороти Крейн. Вы не знакомы с сестрой Дороти Крейн из Пемберской больницы?
I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
Да, я бы хотел посмотреть, что за лекарство. Она опиум продает. Понял, ладно.
The Swanborough cordial can be the answer to all your problems.
Вот. Блин, у меня интересно, стрим начался либо нет?
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Да, начался, только у меня статистика не подтягивает.
His clothes were too finely tailored to be from Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nethercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
Они каким-то лечением занимаются. Занимаются каким-то лечением.
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about.
Так, нужно поговорить с тем журналистом.
By the church they just mentioned.
Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid. Cheap price, good quality. Come on,
Welcome,
take
sir.
a look. Don't be afraid.
Please take a browse.
I am Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis.
How is business around here?
Business? I had no business. Between this
I see. Sounds like you
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
What you mean besides the
Вечность
epidemic,
эпидемии,
the war,
войны и прочего
and all the
дерьма?
usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah.
Да, пару дней назад из заброшенных мастерских выскочили какие-то парни и напали на меня. Они были в лихорадке, в бреду, что-то в этом
Where did
роде.
this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Это на скале он попался. Так, личных вопросов.
Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane?
Так
So
это
the bitch really is a nurse, then?
медсестра.
Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
Yes, she's a nurse, and quite a good one. What did she do to gain such notoriety?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
Сори, ребята, сори. Так, давайте поторгуем. Что у него есть? Ну, у него тоже хватает всего.
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off!
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
Джо Питерсон. Поинтересоваться жизнью в Лондоне давайте.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
Ну, молодец.
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
You survive at any cost, even at the expense of others. Perhaps that's just the law of nature.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Угу. Мы получили подсказочку.
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine, and is supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane? Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
Угу. Ладно, попрощаемся с чувачком. Так, нам нужно найти Клейтона. Какой-то этот батюшка или кто?
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men.
Значит, он видел либо скани, либо вампиров.
Those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has
Он хочет город сжечь.
hardened and purified.
Он говорит, что Господь своих узнает, и на науку вся надежда. Но где будет предел?
Purification by fire has proved useful, but where do you stop? Burn the clothes? The buildings? The corpses? Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool?
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are in...
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you?
Well, what do you mean?
Так, мы поэтому ушли уже.
Really? What?
Про родных спросим, давайте у него.
Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my...
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in her country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
So you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
Но на самом деле
I have heard enough.
он реально больноватый чувак. Дороти Крейн, я почти все о ней узнал, кроме одной подсказки. Так, у нас есть и расследование. Ну, давайте мы сначала завершим. А, вот, успокоить Тельму. Решить, как поступить с часами Джека, вернуть к родственнику. Блин. Давайте кровушки попьем. Кровушка нам пригодится, а эти такие не такие же сильные. Так, там зона карантина.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic, I must caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Что можно еще думать?
No. Of course, the Death of so many innocents is a tragedy, but the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet, nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
Yes. The enjoyable silence of the grave. You have a unique perspective on the situation, I must admit.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
Семья презирает его.
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you, for a start, my dear Doctor.
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles and the arid hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox. The stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about. And that's what Whitechapel
Тоже
is made
странноватый
of.
чувак, да? Если быть честным, здесь все странноватые люди.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard.
Никогда не слышал о ней?
I'll leave you alone, sir.
Это очень странно. Вот этот чувачок. Так, что там у нас на районах слышно? Руфус заболел амнемией. Иннет Галлингем. Блин, ну а где они, вот эти люди? Я хз. Я их даже не знаю. Это даже еще неизвестно. Есть неизвестные. Что, как о них узнать? Так, у этой простуда. Ладно. Нам бы вот это сделать. Хотя тут есть задание. Это хорошо, что дверь отперта. Ну, то есть с этой стороны мы бы не зашли. Какая-то еще.
I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger. I know you understand what I'm saying.
А, она немая.
Very well.
Угу. Так, я нашел секретик какой-то. Не-не-не, там какие-то... А куда она оделась? А, вот она.
Hello again, miss. Melia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary. A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever. Very well.
Окей. Мы же все равно все узнаем. Рано или поздно. Либо просто высосем кровь. Найти Клейтона. Кто такой Клейтон?
The walls of your home will not protect you, for there is no protection against malevolence and trickery.
Excuse me, sir. Are
Да,
you
Клейтон
familiar
это и
with
есть,
this
это
part of
чувачок.
town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm a doctor, Mr. Darby. I care about everything involving public health and this epidemic.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain Nurse Crane from the Pembroke Hospital would bring?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious. Never goes out. Doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
He has no relatives at all?
No. Except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
Ну мы его нашли были. Ничего такого.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
I served in France. Our top priority must be to put an end to this butchery. This war must stop now.
Sir, streets are a battlefield too. An invisible and untold war is going on, and it must be stopped.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
That science is unable to explain the facts doesn't mean there is no rational explanation.
I confess, I share your point of view, Doctor.
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people
Ну,
to
действительно,
know.
есть люди, которые готовы вот, для людей пожертвовать собой. Особенно там писатели, журналисты
Not at all,
какие-то.
sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
Goodbye.
Так, мне нужно сначала, давайте мы вернемся и успокоим нашу подружку. А вот еще нужно что. Это нам сюда нужно, да? Найти почтовый ящик и письмо. Блин, здесь очень много разговоров и расследований. Самой боевки, так как, ну, слишком как-то маловато. Если быть честным.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter.
Таблетки какие-то появились. О, нам нужна свинцовая пластина и часть хорошей рукояти. Свинцовая пластина и часть хорошей рукояти.
Darius is a bit less of a mystery now.
И часть хорошей рукояти. Какая-то там пластина и часть хорошей рукояти. Нам нужна торговка. А, точнее торговец, который мужичок стоял.
Come on, Barrett, you know the game. You pay for peace of mind.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never... Right then.
Крошечная часть хорошей рукояти. Часть обычной рукояти. Да. И свинцовая пластина. Свинцовое грузило, крошечная часть хорошей рукояти. А вот.
Right then.
А свинцовое грузило у нас нет, да? Ага. Так, 2 штучки мы купили. Нормально, нормально. Все гуд.
I should never have taken up on.
Ну что,
Mr. Petrescu, just 1 minute, please.
You again? Go away.
Sir, wait. Stop this nonsense. I know Nurse Crane is here. Shall we speak man to man, you and I?
All right. Speak up.
Don't you see we're on the same side? We fight to help the poor, sick, and abandoned.
I'm nothing like you, Mr. Doctor.
Yes, you are. You too believe in providing medical care without charge. You know what we have to sacrifice to make the world a better place.
I have to admit your words have conviction. All right, I'll let you.
Ничего себе, он быстро согласился пустить.
Don't make me regret this, though.
О, он меня впустил. Сейчас меня прогонит и скажет, ты что, офигел тут вырывать у меня? Но мы можем здесь собрать очень классные всякие штуки.
It's locked, all right.
Угу. Один сейф у него закрыт. Так, тут все закрыто. Ой, воришка. Зато тут есть, наверное, куча лекарственных средств. Угу. Да, я прав. Она на втором этаже, наверное, да?
I need help.
What do we have here, nurse?
Patient Razvan Vasily. High fever running on 3 days. Complaints of dizziness, muscle aches, and head pain. Diagnosed with influenza.
Treatment?
Aspirin and salicin for the fever and discomfort. Liquids for dehydration, but he's having trouble keeping even water down.
Thank you, nurse. Anything else I should know?
He did lose consciousness this morning, but he's never had convulsions like these.
He's not convulsing, he's choking. He's not getting any air. Scalpel! Hand me that scalpel!
What can I do, Doctor?
I need to perform a tracheostomy. Short pipe. That rubber tube will do. We're going to cut a passage for air through the neck.
Yes, Doctor.
Я же спец.
He's breathing again, but he's coughing up blood.
Internal hemorrhaging. I need to make another incision into the chest cavity to drain the fluids from the lung. Prepare another tube.
A thoracostomy? Doctor, we've nothing to fight the infection. We need an aseptic environment.
Don't question me, nurse. I need a drain. Now.
Yes, Doctor. He's still bleeding, Doctor. I'm losing his pulse.
The drain must have punctured the intercostal artery. There's too much blood.
Are you all right, Doctor?
I can't see. I must first suture the artery.
Она увидела, кто я и что я.
The source of the blood.
Needle and thread, Doctor.
Good. The stitches are holding. How's he doing?
We're losing him. We've lost his pulse. He's dying, Doctor!
A dose of epinephrine, now.
Yes, Doctor.
Умер чувак.
We've lost the pulse. He's gone, Doctor.
Nurse, we did everything we could.
Yes, I know. You are true to your reputation, Dr. Reed. Dedicated and precise. No one could have done more.
This was not an influenza-induced seizure. I've never seen symptoms like these on the continent.
Neither have I. But the previous symptoms leading up to this attack were the same, indistinguishable from the epidemic.
No. There was something more vile in these reactions. Something primitive.
There have been numerous reports of mental breakdowns caused by the fever that accompanies the flu itself, Doctor.
Yes, but... I'd best take some samples of the blood for analysis.
Я так переживал, так волнительно сделали этот момент. Круть. Так просто на смерть отреагировали. Ужасает, правда.
I doubt you're here to test my bedside manners. To what do I owe this courtesy?
It's locked.
Ну, у них ключи находятся. Если их убивать...
I suspect it was more than intuition alone that led you to us. So, how might I be of service, Dr. Reed?
Your heart might be in the right place, but you can't carry on with this blackmail. For God's sake, Dorothy, it's extortion. It's a serious crime.
Doctor, you think your warnings scare me? I've stolen and plied, blackmailed and lied, but what else am I to do? I'm all these people have.
Почему вы выбрали леди? Ну, вообще нужно прекратить.
But why Lady Ashbury? Why her, of all people?
She's pristine and proper, all right. But that she-wolf in sheep's clothing murders the poor for sport. I have her where she belongs, and I'll milk her for all she's got.
Dr. Swansea is a sensible and honest man. He wouldn't have refused your friend's care at Pembroke.
It's easy for you to say, Doctor. These people cannot go to the police, nor to the hospital. They don't even speak English. They depend on me for everything.
So, the end justifies the means. Is that your defense?
I know you're kind, Doctor. Just another fine-heeled, silver-spooned gentleman who was given the world on a platter. You know nothing of poverty. Nothing of the shame, the hunger, the loneliness.
You've convinced me of the sincerity of your actions and their noble justifications. But all the same, blackmail is a crime, and it will stop, Nurse Crane.
So, are you going to turn me over to the authorities?
Я закрою на это глаза, но вы подадите в отставку. О, объять. Я немедленно положу этому конец.
Listen very carefully, Dorothy. You will erase from your memory everything you pretend to know about Lady Ashbury and Pembroke Hospital.
Let that rich bitch off the hook over my dead
Nurse
body.
Crane, enough. Listen as if your life depended on every word. I know you've a generous heart who gives freely to those in need, but you shall walk away from the shadier streets of your business.
I will never abandon...
Dorothy, the discussion has come to a close. Your clandestine activities in the Resistance are over. Let it go.
I'll let it go. Yes. All gone.
Да-да-да, мой уровень гипноза поднялся. Уровень гипноза 2. Теперь я могу убивать новых людей. У меня уже 1700 опыта. Мы, кстати, можем ее сейчас прямо... А мы можем ее убить? Уже, наверное, нет, да? Нужно было... О, Дороти Крейн. Надо было все-таки ее выпить.
It's locked.
Чё вы тут забыли? О, что это за новиночки какие-то? Так, а что мне дали за достижение? Мне, ребятки, вот что интересно. Давайте мы посмотрим. Интервью с вампиром. Решить судьбу Дороти. Угу, я понял. А вот теперь сюда идите. Чух, 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 чух. Иди сюда. Совсем уже попутали тут. Блин, нам бы выпить ее на самом деле. Только как это сделать? Мы можем как бы по ходу ее убить, но мы, наверное, не получим за это никакого опыта. Ну, лично мне так кажется. Угу.
Hello, Mr. Petrescu.
Hello, Dr. Reed. Come on.
Мы можем типа еще с ним побазарить. Мистер какой-то там. Вот, Дариус Патриско. Но он болеет бронхитом. И получим всего лишь 1000. И у него уровень гипноз 2. Супер.
If you want to talk to Dorothea, you must go.
We've not been formally introduced.
I am Darius Petrescu.
How did you meet Nurse Crane, Darius? Why does she trust you?
I'm her oldest friend in England.
You mean occupied Romania, don't you?
Really? Then perhaps you have more in common with Dorothy.
I know you fought for your country when it was occupied.
I know my days are numbered.
И что я больше не увижу родину, но я все же сражался. Но ведь Румыния вырвала из лап.
Do you have any family left, Mr.
Who knows? I have a bat.
This war won't last forever.
No. I have taught strength and determination.
Don't be embarrassed, sir. If you must know my...
It's quite awkward to talk about our families like...
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm almost convinced Camellia is an angel. She volunteered to give out our medical leaflets.
Who is she, really? Do you know where she's from?
She's not from around here, that's all we know. Camellia is not even her name. It's her favorite flower.
You say she has no close family?
Well, there's that awful poet who constantly follows her around like a lost puppy. A good man for sure, but a very poor writer.
Are you not worried for her safety?
She is as brave as she is tough, and clever too. If only I had met her when I was younger.
Are you in love with Camellia, Mr. Petrescu?
Don't be stupid. If I had met her when I was younger, we could have won our revolution.
Tell me everything you...
I do not...
Did you refuse to publish Richard Nethercott's previous works, Darius?
Yes. His manuscript is as pompous as he is starched. Now there's a man who loves the sound of his own voice.
You could have told him so.
As a great writer recently said, politeness is the most acceptable hypocrisy.
So Dorothy's real name is not Crane?
Like myself and many people in this area.
She seems important to the community.
More than you can imagine.
Ладно, хорошо. Мы, в принципе, все, что хотели, узнали. Если Эшбри решить, как поступить сейчас сами. Так, ребятки, сейчас схожу, я себе покушать сделаю. Ну, так, быстренько перекус. Что не кушал ничего, сколько? 11:23 у нас там. Собрался покушать. Давайте, может, какой-нибудь видосик глянем, что ли, пока я кушаю. Хотя... Не хочу отрываться от стрима, конечно, но кушать тоже хочу безумно. Поэтому и собираюсь покушать прямо перед вами. И считаю, что в этом ничего плохого нету. Кушать собираюсь блинчики. Это очень хороший питательный завтрак. Вот такие мне блинчики. Просто играть и кушать блинчик я, наверное, смогу. Давайте выйдем. Нам раз нужно прокачаться, и два нам нужно в больницу. Надо нам успокоить эту женщину. Так, и нам нужно закончить. Ой, не-не-не, мы не туда пошли, куда-то. Ой.
It's locked, all right.
Ага, дверь заперта. Ну, мы тут много. Так, можно, чтобы развить навыки, да?
Human blood. Whoever left these marks did so deliberately.
Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой! Ай-яй-яй-яй-яй! Их тут четверо! А ну-ка, кровушки сюда дали попить. Ай-яй-яй-яй. Больше крови нету. Ай-яй-яй. А ну-ка сюда идите. Ай-яй-яй-яй, у меня нет крови. Ага. Ну, мы здесь с вами были. Просто не все подобрали. Так, вот и больница. Так, у нас с вами 2900. Давайте мы сначала прокачаемся. Как раз пока перекусим. Две тысячи. Две. Кто? Кто пропал? Пропавший горожанин. Она пропала. Давайте еще посмотрим. А почему это подгружается, с ним разговор? Очень странно.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Где она ходит? Это не она. Вот она. Нужно ее успокоить.
I have made inquiries about the men who were tracking you, Miss Howcroft.
I did not expect a mortal to have this sort of courage. Speak, Doctor. Why are they hunting me down?
It was a misunderstanding. These hunters were in fact looking for a very different creature, but they mistakenly put their sights on you.
I knew it. I have become undone. Those hunters have discovered me, but they don't know what I'm capable of.
If you'll accept some advice from a petty mortal, I think you should assume a low profile and just quietly disappear into the shadows.
You are right. And you have served me well, mortal. Take this as a reward for your time. Perhaps I will allow you to drink deep of my blood. One day.
Thank you. I'll keep that proposition in mind. I'll leave you.
I wish I could be sick again.
Так, все, я прошел. Ай-яй-яй-яй-яй. А вот и была споймана она.
I would ask you to avert your eyes, sir. Or did you not know it was rude to stare?
I knew it.
Speak up, Dr. Reed. I like a man who speaks his mind.
Hiding your true appetites behind a facade of compassion. Bravo. Very clever indeed.
Spare me your sarcasm, Jonathan. You are but newly born in this world.
We are vampires. We live by leeching the blood from weaker prey. We are Darwin's next chapter. His cynical and perhaps ultimate expression.
The situation is somewhat awkward nonetheless. I have not been observed sustaining myself for many decades. I have to say I'm a trifle embarrassed.
Anyway, I have concluded my inquiries concerning your blackmailer.
I see. Please excuse my agitated state. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't let anyone see me in this condition.
The case is closed, your ladyship. The person who took advantage of you has, shall we say, seen the error of her ways.
So who was it?
My lady, the blackmailer was dealt with using the utmost discretion. The culprit's identity is of no relevance.
Thank you, Jonathan. That is exactly what I needed from you.
Конечно.
You've proven your loyalty, so, as a friend, please accept this small token of my appreciation.
Thank you, my lady.
50
If you have an
шиллингов.
inclination to learn more about vampires or your current situation, I will be glad to aid you in your quest for knowledge.
I've been hearing a voice talking in my head. Is this some kind of insanity? It feels like the voice of the vampire that created me.
Hush. Tell no one this. It would be unwise to talk of such things amongst British immortals. Speak no more of your maker.
How could this cause offense?
Only the powerful immortals can mentally call to their progeny. No vampire or hunter will sleep easy, knowing that an unidentified elder is stalking the streets of London.
Excuse my forwardness, but are you my maker?
Me? Goodness, no. Only a foolish immortal would create a progeny without taking precaution, and I'm no fool.
Окей.
A vampire? Is that what I am?
Кто мы такие?
What
Вампиры.
we are?
Such a crude word, defined by penny dreadfuls and drunken hacks. No.
Доедая последний блинчик, ребята, и возвращаюсь в игру.
And that you shall remain.
So we are Econs. How can I identify us amongst other vampires?
How to put it? All Econ are vampires. But all vampires are not Econ. We are but a branch of the immortal tree.
Вы не обращайте внимания, я смотрю, но на другой экран.
Yes, I am. We are the closest thing to what man refers to as vampires. Forget what you think you know about us.
I don't understand. Why was I created and then left for dead?
That is a question only the one who made you can answer. It's not normal practice. I doubt even if you find him, he will answer you, considering how cruelly he treated you.
So me being a vampire could have been a mistake.
I very much doubt it, Jonathan. Contrary to the legends, it is not as simple to make another vampire by just biting someone.
I'd like to avoid creating another vampire by mistake anyway. Tell me, how is it done?
The process is dangerous. It could even kill your potential progeny. If you did decide to sire an offspring, they must drink of your blood, Jonathan.
Why does Dr. Swansea allow you to feed on the patients of the hospital?
Dr. Swansea is a good and compassionate man. He is trying to find a solution for our hunger. Until that happens, he is clever enough to understand that I only feed upon the dying.
What do you know about this Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole?
The Brotherhood is well known amongst London Vampire Society. As long as our kind is discreet, and as long as they do not interfere, we have come to a mutual understanding.
То есть есть еще другие вампиры.
Suspected you of the murders.
As you well know, suspicion has recently fallen on me of killing for pleasure. But you have my word, Jonathan. I take no pleasure in taking a life.
Okay.
Why did you save me in the canning factory?
I could hardly stand by and watch such a promising young blood as yourself be torn to shreds by some gutter scowl.
What type of vampire is a skull?
Not a true vampire. The deformed offspring of lesser vampires. It is a shame these creatures run wild, slaves to their baser instincts.
William Bishop wasn't the vampire that created me then?
No, Jonathan. Whatever their strength and demeanor, Scowls are the progeny of careless vampires. It cannot be the other way round.
I know this is beyond the pale, but may I inquire your age?
Холодно, ребятки, холодно.
Really? And I thought you were gentlemen. If you must know, I'm 27. I've been 27 for a long time now.
Уже очень давно.
And
И всегда будет
27 I
27.
shall remain.
And who bestowed upon you this eternal youth?
My maker. He left this isle a long time ago.
Very well. But I believe there is more to this than you are saying.
A lady has to have some secrets.
Она довольно умно общается.
I've been away from London and England for 3 years. This isn't the city I remember.
Things have gone from bad to worse here, Jonathan. I've lived in this city for a long time, and I've never seen it like this.
What is it you fear?
fear has long since flown this form. But there is something malevolent circling us. I feel fear is merely waiting in the wings.
The Spanish flu has hit London that bad?
Yes, but it's not just that. I've heard things. Things I've not heard for a very, very long time. There are whispers in the shadows.
Что-то хуже эпидемии гриппа появилась в городе, она этого боится.
In the city.
When I awoke, changed, I was chased and attacked by vampire hunters. Prepared and well-trained.
Though I can't be certain, more than likely it was the once glorious Guard of Priwen.
Once glorious, but still dangerous.
They have seen better days, but all fanatics are dangerous. You would be wise to stay clear. They are sworn to destroy our kind.
You make them sound like some sort of cult.
More a society. And like all the best ones, a secret society. I thought them almost gone, but it seemed they have been recruiting.
Are there many vampires here in London?
Immortals are of a rare breed, and we often tend to hide. But you may occasionally meet some of us at night.
Do you know any of them? Have you an idea of the identity of the vampire who attacked me?
You mean your maker? No, Jonathan, I have no clue. But I fear he or she is as careless as cruel. To let you discover your new condition by yourself.
What do you mean?
Every now and then, you may discover an immortal in the deep of the night. But we are a rare and reclusive breed. Our progeny is almost never accidental.
Will they all be as affable as you, my lady?
I do not see why not. But remember, even the shark smiles before he bites.
That sounds
Даже
like a
акула
lesson from
улыбается,
experience.
прежде чем укусить.
Vampire politics are as intricate and sometimes tedious as a game of chess in a gentleman's club. I've learned from experience it is best to decline to play.
Блин, ну слушайте, ребятки, она мне очень много рассказала.
I must quickly analyze the blood I took from Nurse Crane's patient.
Так, нужно быстро исследовать кровь. Блин, ну мне... Ну, о, у нас есть старая дубинка. 15 оглушения, 28 оглушения. 25 оглушения, 30 оглушения, 35 оглушения. Ну, пока дубинка хорошо, конечно.
Razvan Vasily was infected by Spanish flu, but also has the highly unstable blood of the Skulls. Is the London...
Так, тут мы все уже узнали, тут нет. А тут нужно решить с часами вопрос. Так, тут болеют у нас анемия. Блин, ну у нас уже этих... Воу-воу-воу. Так, ладно. Давайте посмотрим, кого нам нужно действительно вылечить. Нам нужна анемия и непонятная болезнь какая-то. Нам нужно еще Пипа Хокинс, простуда. Анемия и простуда. Давайте мы сначала создадим то, что нам нужно. Анемия у нас есть. У нас нужно простуда создать. Так, простуду создали. Так, переутомление. Простуда, бронхит. Переутомление, простуда, бронхит. Переутомление. Простуда. Бронхит. Окей. Глава 3. История так. Эпидемия вампиризма и испанским гриппом. Выяви связь между. Узнать больше об эпидемии вампиризма. Ну что я могу сказать, ребятки, это круто. Так, а давайте мы посмотрим, кого мы можем... Ну, здесь мы можем, вот смотрите, по 5, 4, 9 тысяч опыта получить, если мы выпьем их. Здесь амнемия можно, но мы об этом ничего не знаем, чёчки. И этих мы тоже выпить не сможем. Так, это понятно, но нам нужна... Мы должны с вами... Давай... Ой, здесь еще есть событие. Произошло неизвестное событие. Давайте мы сходим, узнаем, что это за такое событие.
Are you dead? There's one of them! Watch yourselves!
Какое-то событие. Мы можем сходить посмотреть, что это за событие. Ничего себе у них урон. Решить, как поступить с часами. Расскажите от крови. Все? Произошло какое-то событие. Давайте мы узнаем, попробуем порыскать здесь. И узнать, что это за событие такое.
I have this thirst for blood.
Ничего себе у него урон. Но я неплохо ему наношу. Ай-яй-яй-яй-яй. Ай-яй-яй, ну 27 уровень, конечно же. Мы его развалим. Мы ему пол хп сняли. Попробуем его развалить. Да, но тут событие произошло, а значит нам нужно попробовать. Ну давайте разочек попробуем. Один разочек попробуем.
This is despicable. Ну, давай, давай. О, сабля Ньютона. Большой ключ какой-то дали. А вот это уже круто. Вот и все, событие пропало. Мы с вами получили саблю Ньютона. 85 урона. $235 урон будет, да? А у пилы 240. Вот, нам осталась часть хорошей рукояти получить. Так, а что будет, если разобрать нам? Надо, можно что-то же разобрать, правильно? $27 уровень. Но я с ним недавно дрался, поэтому он мне показался предсказуемым.
А, идите сюда, ребятки. Блин, нам нужно вот через эту часть как-то попасть, да? Давайте попробуем. Ну что-то попутали, ребятки, походу. Так, да, мне нужно туда, а потом нужно повернуть. Все правильно я шел. А, 8. Ну тут тупик. Что-то случилось.
It's locked. It's locked, all right.
He's mine! Filthy!
Да, туда не попасть. Ну, мы можем туда телепортнуться, наверное. Блин, не хватает. Мы бы могли сейчас прям улучшить все это. Настолько круто сделать. Или вот эта крошечная часть хорошей рукояти нам нужна. И у нас будет 33 оглушения плюс 3. То есть это будет 33 плюс 3. Но дверь это закрыта.
I cannot enter. It's locked.
Нам дали какой-то большой ключ. От чего он, я на самом деле не знаю. Пермская больница, прям таки так. Блин, как попасть в западные доки? Ну, серьезно. Ну, я знаю, что отсюда, но... Большой ключ нам дали, да? Опа-на! Дверь отперта. Это опиум. И все? Просто плохо, что еще не показывает, от чего ключи. Большой ключ, который, вероятно, открывает убежище Освальда и Ньютона. А, вот оно что. Ребятки, наверное, это убежище вот это вот.
It's locked, all right.
Убежище Освальда Ньютона. Маленький ключ, который позволяет попасть в кабинет врача в Пемберской больнице. Маленький ключ Дейсона отдаления, отпирающий шкатулку или ларь. Простой стальной ключ, отпирающий решетку или дверь. Старый ключ с биркой подвал морга. С биркой парк морга Пемберга. Вероятно, отпирает что-то вроде висячего замка. Ключ от убежища в Саутарке. Вот, здесь еще событие тоже какое-то есть. Блин, здесь очень много всего на самом деле. Прям очень много. Так, сколько мы там с вами уже стримим? Посмотреть нужно. Час 42. Час 42. Час 42. Но мы еще постримим, ребятки. Я сейчас отойду водички попью и вернусь. Знаете, ребятки, что я для себя понял? Так это то... Давайте попробуем мы все-таки сходить туда, да? Так, если туда... Нет, мы туда вот сходим. Блин, опять тут кто-то находится.
Easy does it, boys. Die, vermin! He's dead!
Сюда иди. Ой, как они мне надоели. Они очень... О, все, они меня затрахали. Сюда иди. Так, как будто бы еще какое-то событие появилось.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Do you require...
I'm fine.
Goodbye, Mr. Fish.
I hope the rumors about Clay are true. Otherwise.
Good evening.
Hello.
Can I...
As long as you...
Она... Так, а что нам нужно там было для улучшения-то? Так, крошечная часть хорошей рукояти нам нужна всего лишь. Все. Для пилы нам нужна часть хорошей рукояти.
The sewer dog's fault, they say. Then the gangs, the epidemics, everyone's throwing the blame.
Да, тут все мы открыли. Здесь тоже.
Goodbye.
Without the wet boots keeping things straight in.
плохо, что восстанавливаются эти. Ну, различные монстры.
It's locked.
It's one of them! He's dead! Leech spotted! Watch out! He's too fucking fast! I'll send you back in a fucking grave! Yeah!
It's locked, all right.
Так, ну прокачаться мы потом прокачаемся.
It's locked. I cannot enter. It's locked.
А ну-ка сюда идите. Вот как они меня запарили, эти прыгуны. Я вот не помню, мы были здесь или нет. Скорее всего, что были мы здесь с вами. Да, мы с вами здесь были. с вами открыли дверь здесь. И здесь мы тоже с вами дверь открыли.
It's locked, all right.
Блин, я говорю, единственный, наверное, минус, если бы здесь было быстрое перемещение, то бы это просто еще спасло бы игру. Ну а так это какая-то жесть. Ну, то есть только бегать.
Look at it! Vicious bugger!
I'll kill it!
Красненьким, красненьким. Ну вот и все. Не, ну здесь можно какие-то быстрые переходы делать. Так, ну вот мы уже и в доках. Так, а у нас есть же эти часы, да? Маленькие карманные часы, часы Джонатана. Ладно, погнали в больницу. Мы так толком ничего и не узнали. А давайте продадим кому-нибудь другому. Например, вот
Good
ему.
evening, Mill. Good evening. I'd like...
С часами Джека. Да уж. Угу. То есть у нас этого и так хватает. Угу.
Evening, Edgar.
Please speak. But I have some...
This strain of flu, it's very different from the one I saw in Europe. It's downright peculiar.
Really? What makes you say that?
I've just looked at the blood of one of our recently deceased.
I see. Do you have anything more to go on?
This disease spreads and looks like the Spanish flu, but its effects differ greatly. The London strain is different from the continental one.
This is very interesting. Did you find something else?
Yes. Unlike the flu, the infected begin to show an increase in outwardly aggressive behavior. More than simple agitation. Once docile people become violent.
You mean like rabies? Is there a chance we could create a vaccine, Jonathan, like Pasteur? By the stove, that would be smashing.
There's a lot we're not seeing here, but it is spreading, and quickly. If we don't act, the whole city could be lost.
But Jonathan, we've a fantastic opportunity sitting right here in front of us. A weapon of choice.
What on earth do you mean?
Why, you, my dear boy. With your expertise and your blood, we could isolate the properties that course through your veins. Think about the possibilities.
But the risk of infection using vampire blood could compound the situation.
I know, but your blood now carries remarkable regenerative properties. With our minds and your blood, there's nothing we couldn't cure.
We'll discuss this more later. Thank you for your time.
Ну это опасно, реально опасно.
No, thank you, Jonathan. But as I said, I needed to talk to you. I have some rather bad news.
Yes?
I'm afraid it's your sister.
My sister?
She's to be buried this evening at Whitechapel Cemetery. Your mother published the obituary this morning.
I see.
I'm sorry, Jonathan. Please accept my condolences.
Так, посетить похороны Мэри. Так, ребятушки, сколько мы там с вами уже сегодня стримим? 2 часа 06. Так, ребятки, давайте мы будем заканчивать свой стрим. Да, будем заканчивать стрим. Всем большое спасибо, кто сегодня зашел. Всем пока.